This American fighter jet shocked China and Russia. A sixth-generation fighter is a conceptualized class of jet fighter aircraft design more advanced than the fifth-generation jet fighters that are currently in service and development. The race to build cutting-edge fighter jets is back with a vengeance. Today, with less than 1,000 fifth-generation fighters flying worldwide, the world is already looking ahead to the next generation. What technologies and capabilities will define the so-called sixth generation, including the Air Force's secret new fighter jet, which it shockingly designed, tested, and flew in the span of just 1 year? The answer might surprise you. The fall of the Soviet Union in 1991 put the brakes on more than 45 years of intense fighter jet development. The Cold War saw the rapid introduction of several key technologies, including jet engines, radar-guided missiles, heads-up displays, and stealth, plus the development of the first 4 generations of post-war fighter aircraft. In the 2000s, the US released the first fifth-generation fighter, the F-22 Raptor. Fifth-generation fighters are generally defined as aircraft developed from the ground up with radar-evading stealth, the ability to cruise above Mach 1 without afterburners, advanced radars and infrared sensors, and the extensive use of computers and software to not only fly the airplane, but also process sensor data. Since the Raptor's debut, other planes to join the fifth-generation pantheon include the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter and its international rivals, the Chengdu J-20 and Sukhoi Su-57. The evolving great power movement, particularly Russia and China acting aggressively against their neighbors while beefing up their armed forces, is driving increased spending on fighters. The US, Japan, and the UK, and France and Germany are all working to develop sixth-generation fighters. The question is, just what makes up a sixth-gen fighter anyway? In a recent webinar, engineers at Raytheon Intelligence and Space revealed they believe the next generation of fighters will be defined by several new technologies, including just one large transmitter that acts as an air-to-air radar, air-to-ground radar, radio, and electronic warfare platform. A single system controlled by software would replace several different systems, switching between tasks as needed. The Raytheon engineers said sixth-gen fighters will also include self-landing systems, according to an Aerotech News recap of the webinar. Future aircraft will likely be designed to land autonomously on aircraft carriers, which could be used to land the aircraft in rough weather at a precise landing zone. A sixth-gen fighter could land autonomously without human control or provide guidance to pilots landing under challenging circumstances. And then there's artificial intelligence, which will function as a sort of co-pilot to a human pilot on a next-gen fighter jet. In fact, earlier this year, the Air Force revealed that its secret new fighter jet will have an R2-D2-style sidekick similar to the AI that operated a U-2 spy plane in a historic first. A cockpit-bound AI could oversee the jamming of enemy radars and monitor for threats to the plane, like incoming missiles, and then automatically launch chaff or flares to lure the missile away. AI could also be used to fly a loyal wingman drone, a semi-autonomous uncrewed aircraft that could fly alongside crewed fighters. What other bells and whistles will define the fighters of the future? We'll find out soon enough. The U.S. Air Force has revealed concept art of its new fighter jet that was designed, built, and tested in secret. Last September, USAF's top acquisition official, Will Roper, told Defense News, "We've already built and flown a full-scale flight demonstrator in the real world, and we broke records in doing it. We are ready to go and build the next-generation aircraft in a way that has never happened before." The new plane, which is intended to replace the F-22, is part of the Next Generation Air Dominance, or NGAD, program. Little is known about the jet, but the Air Force has just dropped a massive clue: concept art of a fighter jet being built under the NGAD program. The image appears in USAF's recently released biennial report for acquisition. The report says of the program, Next Generation Air Dominance is a family of capabilities that enable air superiority in the most challenging operational environments by enforcing the development of pillars of digital engineering, agile software development, and open architectures. By executing shorter technology development cycles, the program matures technology and reduces risk through prototyping and operational experimentation. Designed to complement the F-35, F-22 joint and partner forces in the air superiority role, Next Generation Air Dominance is an advanced aircraft program for development of penetrating counter-air platforms with multi-domain awareness, agile resilient communications, and an integrated family of capabilities. The program uses a non-traditional acquisition approach to avoid traditional monolithic program schedules and exorbitant life cycle sustainment costs. This strategy, called the Digital Century Series approach, creates a realistic business case for industry to adopt commercial best practices for key design activities before a part is even manufactured. Lockheed Martin's F-35 Joint Strike Fighter has emerged victorious in Switzerland's $6.5 billion fighter competition, beating out entrants from Eurofighter, Dassault, and Boeing. Over the course of the program, Switzerland plans to spend up to 6 billion Swiss francs, or $6.5 billion US dollars, to buy 36 F-35A conventional takeoff and landing models to replace its aging Hornet fleet, the government announced Wednesday. Switzerland will also purchase 5 Patriot missile defense systems from Raytheon Technologies, which defeated the SAMP-T system from France's Eurosam. The win is a massive coup for Lockheed, strengthening the company's F-35 sales campaign in Europe and dealing a harsh blow to the Eurofighter Typhoon, which is manufactured by a consortium comprising Italy's Leonardo, the UK's BAE Systems, and Airbus, which represents Spain and Germany. Lockheed also beat out the Dassault Rafale and Boeing's FA-18EF Super Hornet. In a news release announcing the decision, the Swiss Federal Council stated that the F-35 promised the highest performance for the lowest price, with Lockheed's proposal coming in at $2.16 billion less than its nearest competition over a 30-year forecast. Meanwhile, the F-35 scored better in effectiveness, product support, and cooperation than the Rafale, Super Hornet, and Typhoon. The Federal Council pointed specifically to the Joint Strike Fighter's survivability and situational awareness as selling points that were seen as advantageous for the Swiss Air Force's air policing mission. Although the Swiss design did not lay out which competitor offered the best offset package, Airbus had provided the Swiss government a 700-page dossier on economic offsets, Reuters reported on June 27th. Their proposal included an offer to conduct final assembly of the Typhoon in Switzerland. To meet industrial participation requirements, Lockheed proposed a batch of offsets that included domestic production of about 400 F-35 canopies and transparencies, the creation of a maintenance hub in Switzerland that would maintain European F-35 users' canopies and transparencies, and the creation of a Swiss cyber center of excellence. It also offered to sweeten the pot with an option to conduct the final assembly of 4 F-35 aircraft at existing RUAG facilities in Emmen. However, company officials acknowledged that would add a significant cost to the program. Meanwhile, Boeing highlighted the ease of transition from Hornet to Super Hornet, stating that Switzerland would save money by reusing up to 60% of its existing and intellectual infrastructure.